Welcome to Ethanol Producer Magazine's top headlines from the past week. I'm your host, Jacob Noterman. On June 26th, the U.S. EPA released a proposed rule to set 2019 blending obligations under the Renewable Fuel Standard, along with the 2020 target for biomass-based diesel. The proposed rule aims to require nearly 20 billion gallons of biofuels to be blended into the U.S. fuel supply next year, up from almost 19.3 billion gallons this year. The nearly 20 billion blending target includes 381 million gallons of cellulosic biofuel, almost 5 billion gallons of advanced biofuel, and 2.1 billion gallons of biomass-based diesel. The proposed 2019 blending obligations would allow for the statutory maximum of 15 billion gallons of conventional biofuel, most of which is corn ethanol. On a percentage basis, the rule would require total renewable fuel to comprise nearly 11% of U.S. transportation fuel next year. The rulemaking also proposes to set the 2020 blending obligation for biomass-based diesel at 2.4 billion gallons. Representatives of the ethanol industry said the proposal looks good on the surface, but criticized the EPA for failing to take action to correct demand destruction caused by its misuse of small refiner hardship waivers. Also on June 26th, representatives of the biofuels industry spoke out to criticize the EPA following news that the agency has consistently ignored recommendations from the U.S. Department of Energy to reject or limit waivers to oil refiners seeking exemptions from the Renewable Fuel Standard. Brian Jennings, CEO of the American Coalition for Ethanol, said the news reinforces ACE's decision to challenge certain small refinery exemptions in court and to petition the EPA to account for lost volumes of renewable fuel resulting from the unprecedented number of retroactive small refinery exemptions granted by the agency. Emily Scores, CEO of Growth Energy, called on the White House to take action now to reverse a drain on farm income that threatens the entire rural economy by immediately restoring the demand that has been lost and providing year-round market access for higher biofuel blends. EPUR, the European Ethanol Industry Association, has announced that European ethanol delivered an average of more than 70% greenhouse gas savings when compared to fossil fuels in 2017, up from over 66% in 2016. Emmanuel Desplechin, Secretary General of EPUR, said new data gathered on the European ethanol industry confirms that ethanol produced from European crops, wastes, and residues is among the most sustainable solutions the EU has to decarbonize transportation. As policymakers look at how to realize Europe's clean mobility ambitions, he said they need to make sure ethanol is in the mix. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week with more of the ethanol industry's top stories.